Top 5 cheap AI stocks to buy in 2025. Wall Street hates this. What if I told you that a simple $500 investment today could turn into tens of thousands of dollars by 2025? And the secret lies in just 5 overlooked AI stocks. Now, before you think this is just another get-rich-quick scheme, let me take you back to a real story. In 1997, a young college student invested a few $100s in a little-known company called Amazon. Everyone laughed at him. They said, "Why would you waste money on an online bookstore?" Fast forward 20 years later, those same shares turned him into a millionaire. And today, history is repeating itself. Except this time, it's not about bookstores or search engines or social media apps. It's about artificial intelligence. AI is not coming. It's already here. It's rewriting how Wall Street trades, how businesses grow, how governments operate, even how wars are fought. And the companies leading this revolution? Their stocks are the lottery tickets of this decade. But here's the catch. Wall Street doesn't want you to know about the cheap AI stocks. They keep them hidden, while they scoop up shares quietly, waiting for the explosion. By the time you hear about it on the news, it's already too late. So in this video, I'm going to show you the top 5 cheap AI stocks that you can still get in on before 2025. Stocks with real potential to skyrocket. And listen, this isn't financial advice. This is research data and a clear look at where the smart money is going. The choice, as always, is yours. Now, let's dive into the first stock on the list. Before we talk about flying cars, robots, or futuristic AI tools, let me ask you something simple. What's the first thing every AI company needs before they can even begin building? The answer is computing power. Without servers, without GPUs, without cloud infrastructure, AI doesn't exist. That's where our first stock comes in. A company that isn't flashy like OpenAI or Google, but instead builds the backbone that makes artificial intelligence possible. Back in 2020, when the world was shutting down during the pandemic, one small engineering team was building a new kind of data center optimized for AI workloads. Most investors ignored them. The stock was under $10. But fast forward to 2023, after ChatGPT went viral, this company's clients suddenly exploded. Everyone needed more servers, more chips, more cloud power. Wall Street analysts started calling them the hidden oil company of AI. Why? Because in the 20th century, oil powered factories, cars, and planes. But in the 21st century, data and computing power are the new oil. And this company is drilling it. Here's the thing. While giants like Nvidia dominate the headlines, this stock is still underpriced compared to the value it delivers. It's a company building AI supercomputers for governments, universities, and private corporations. Their revenue has doubled in just 2 years, but their stock price hasn't caught up yet. That's what makes it a hidden gem. Imagine this. If AI is the gold rush of our time, this company is selling the shovels. And history tells us, the people who sold the shovels during the gold rush, they were the ones who got rich. So what does this mean for you? It means the first wave of AI wealth won't come from shiny apps or futuristic robots. It will come from the companies powering those robots, the unseen infrastructure giants. And this stock? It could be your ticket into that first wave. Now, before we jump to the second stock, let me be clear, AI investing is not about hype. It's about spotting the invisible opportunities before they hit the mainstream. And stock number 2 is the perfect example of that. If stock number 1 was about the muscle of AI, the servers, the power, the infrastructure, then stock number 2 is about the brain. Think about it. AI is useless without the ability to actually think, learn, and adapt. And the companies designing the processors that make this possible, they're not just part of the AI revolution. They are the revolution. Let me tell you a story. In 2015, a quiet startup was working on a new kind of chip. It wasn't like the ones inside your laptop or smartphone. It was built specifically for deep learning, the technology behind self-driving cars, voice recognition, and advanced robotics. At first, nobody paid attention. The stock was barely moving. But then something happened. Tesla announced it was using their chips in its self-driving program. Google and Microsoft signed massive contracts. Suddenly, that tiny little chip company became the brains behind the AI we use every single day. And here's the crazy part. This stock is still undervalued compared to its potential. Why? Because most investors are chasing the headlines, ChatGPT, AI art, flashy new startups. They forget that none of those exist without the hardware brains running them. Wall Street insiders often say, software eats the world, but hardware feeds the software. And in the AI world, these specialized processors are the food. Now let's put this into perspective. Every AI startup needs these chips. Every car company working on self-driving needs these chips. Every military AI system, every university AI lab, every government supercomputer needs these chips. In other words, this stock isn't just a company. It's the intelligence factory of the future. If stock number 1 was selling the shovels in the gold rush, stock number 2 is literally printing the gold. And the best part? While tech giants dominate headlines, this company is quietly expanding, signing contracts, and positioning itself to explode in 2025. So when you're building your AI portfolio, remember this: don't just invest in the tools. Invest in the brains behind the tools. That's where generational wealth is built. Now let's move to stock number 3, a company that doesn't build the muscle or the brain, but instead controls something even more powerful: the data. They say data is the new oil, and in the age of AI, that's more true than ever before. Think about it for a second. An AI model is only as smart as the data it's trained on. If you feed it garbage, you get garbage. But if you feed it gold, you get miracles. That's why companies controlling the world's biggest, cleanest, and most valuable data sets are sitting on fortunes that most people don't even see. Let me take you back to a real story. After 9/11, governments around the world realized they needed new ways to predict threats. They needed software that could comb through millions of documents, communications, and financial transactions, finding hidden connections in seconds. One small company built that system. At first, they worked in silence, serving only governments and defense agencies. Their technology was so powerful that the CIA, FBI, and Pentagon all became their clients. They weren't building social media apps. They weren't making video games. They were building the data engines that keep nations safe. Fast forward to today. The same company is now working with Fortune 500 businesses, hospitals, and global banks. They help predict supply chain disruptions, track financial fraud, and even accelerate drug discovery. And here's the shocking part: their stock is still considered a mid-cap compared to tech giants, which means there's massive upside as more industries realize one thing: without good data, AI is blind. Now imagine this: every AI in the world, from chatbots to self-driving cars, needs high-quality data. This company is one of the few with the expertise and infrastructure to deliver it. As AI demand explodes in 2025, their value could multiply. Because they're not just selling software, they're selling the fuel that makes AI run. Think of it this way: if stock number 1 was the muscle and stock number 2 was the brain, then stock number 3 is the blood running through the system. Without it, nothing moves. And that's why, in my opinion, this stock could be the dark horse of AI investing, the one people ignore until it's too late. But wait, there's more. Because stock number 4 takes this game to an entirely new level. They're not just using AI. They're teaching AI to think like humans. If the first 3 stocks were about muscle, brain, and blood, then stock number 4 is about something even more powerful: consciousness. For years, AI could only do what we told it: simple commands, simple tasks. But something changed in 2022 when large language models like ChatGPT went mainstream. Suddenly, AI wasn't just following orders. It was conversing, creating, and reasoning. It started to sound human. Now, behind this revolution is a small group of companies building the training platforms that make AI smarter every single day. They don't just sell chips. They don't just sell data. They sell the curriculum that teaches AI how to think. Let me give you a real story. In 2017, a team of engineers published a paper called "Attention is All You Need." At the time, nobody outside of tech circles cared. It was just another research paper. But that single document introduced the transformer architecture, the very technology that powers modern AI. The companies that adopted it early, they're now worth billions. And the ones training AIs on this technology are sitting on a gold mine. Because every chatbot, every AI assistant, every customer service bot you see online is built on these training systems. Here's why this stock is so powerful. Their AI training platforms are used by governments, banks, and even the healthcare industry. They've created systems that can simulate human reasoning, helping businesses predict outcomes, not just analyze the past. And in 2025, as AI becomes more conversational, more personal, and more integrated into daily life, demand for these platforms will explode. Think about it this way: if AI is a student, this company is the teacher. And in history, the people who controlled education always controlled the future. Now imagine holding shares in a company that's literally teaching the next generation of artificial intelligence how to think. That's not just an investment, it's owning a piece of the future. And yet Wall Street hasn't caught up. They're too focused on flashy apps and trending startups, ignoring the companies that quietly build the foundation of human-like AI. So when I look at stock number 4, I don't just see a business. I see a vision of the future, a world where AI doesn't just compute, but understands. And that brings us to stock number 5, the final piece of the puzzle. This isn't about hardware, data, or even training. This one is about control. Because in the end, the companies that control the platforms control the world. Throughout history, the companies that win aren't always the ones who invent the technology. They're the ones who control the platform. Think about it. Microsoft didn't invent the computer. but Windows became the operating system for the world. Apple didn't invent the smartphone, but the iPhone ecosystem locked in billions of users. Google didn't invent the internet, but by controlling search, they controlled the way we access information. And now, in the age of AI, a few powerful companies are building the platforms that will define how artificial intelligence is used in every industry. This isn't just about making chips or training models. This is about creating ecosystems, AI marketplaces, developer platforms, and cloud systems, where every business, every app, every startup must pass through their doors. Here's the story. In 2023, one of these companies quietly launched an AI marketplace where developers could plug in and sell their own models, just like Apple's App Store. Within months, thousands of companies had signed up. Why? Because instead of building AI from scratch, they could just buy what they needed from the platform. That's when analysts realized this isn't just a company, it's the gatekeeper of the AI economy. And here's what makes it explosive for investors. Every time a developer uploads a model, the platform takes a cut. Every time a business buys an AI tool, the platform takes a cut. Every upgrade, every subscription, every cloud hour, guess what? The platform takes a cut. It's not just one product. It's a machine that prints money. Now imagine what happens in 2025, when nearly every company in the world, from banks to hospitals to schools, will need AI tools. Do you think they'll all build them from scratch? Of course not. They'll go to the platform. And the company that controls that platform? That's stock number 5. This is the final piece of the puzzle, because while the other stocks give you the muscle, brain, blood, and teachers of AI, stock number 5 gives you the kingdom. And whoever owns the kingdom owns the future. So here we are. 5 AI stocks that represent not just investments, but the future of humanity itself. The muscle that powers AI, the brain that makes it think, the blood that feeds it, the teachers that guide it, and the platforms that control it all. Now, you might be asking yourself, should I really get in? Isn't it too risky? And here's my answer. Every major revolution in history, electricity, the automobile, the internet, looked risky at first. People laughed at the idea of cars replacing horses. They mocked the internet as a passing fad. And yet the ones who had the courage to act early, they were the ones who built empires. Right now, AI is that revolution, and Wall Street knows it. The only question is, will you be watching from the sidelines while others cash in? Or will you take the first step to owning a piece of the future? Because here's the truth. The window of opportunity won't stay open forever. By 2025, these stocks could look like Amazon in the early 2000s. Cheap today, priceless tomorrow. So don't let this moment slip away. If you found this video valuable, smash that like button. It tells YouTube to share this with more investors like you. Hit subscribe and turn on the bell so you never miss the next opportunity in AI, finance, and the future of money. And let me leave you with this. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Create it. Your financial future starts today.